Which chair?
Welcome. You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
you are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. Or I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I can come over.
Come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
I had a feeling something was up. Forgive us as we adjust for the in studio time that we normally are not. And I know you can hear me, but you can only see my guest. And I'm happy to have my guest here today. He is one of the founders, right?
Correct.
Of Working Dogs for Warriors. And is that better? Polly's like, where are you? I am actually in studio out here in the Inland Empire. Normally, thanks to hashtag COVID Silver Lining, I get to broadcast from my living room.
Awesome.
But yet it is awesome. So this is an unusual thing. I haven't had to do this since pre-COVID, or I call it hashtag BC19, the time before COVID. And so I met this gentleman on Earth Day this year out at one of my client sites, which is the IEUA Inland Empire Utilities Agency. And I'm really happy that I get to go out there after this as well, which is why we arranged this one to come to the studio. And I do strategic planning there. And some of you may know my doctorate is actually not in clinical psychology, but in organizational psychology. So I get to work with businesses on things like power, politics, miscommunication, conflict, and team building and leadership and all that kind of fun stuff. And they did a great job with the Earth Day this year. I went walking around, saw some of my clients, and then bumped into this great group. I love furry friends. And so I made friends with a couple of moose. Is
We
there
had
a
Canine
moose?
Moose. We had Canine Nova, I believe she was out there, and a couple others. So we'll have one today with us.
Yes, and they're on their way. And so I invited him to the studio, and we finally got to make that work. So I'm going to do what I usually do when I can't get to the the actual bio, which is ask you.
Okay.
I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? So who are you and what do you want?
So my name is Mike. I'm the co-founder of Working Dogs for Warriors. My wife and I started the organization back in 2016 as a way to directly impact veteran and first responder suicide. We started it along with our brother. Unfortunately, he passed away shortly thereafter, but we wanted to continue it. We wanted to continue the mission, and be able to give back to our veterans and first responders who are suffering PTSD.
Wonderful. I'm just looking here. What does it say? Live viewer comments. I'm trying to do this on my phone, and it's a little bit interesting here. Did I just lose you again? Let's see. There we go. Live viewer comments. Why is that showing up? Can you take that off of there? I don't know what that is. That thing on StreamYard on the bottom. But anyways, it's all good. So tell me, what does your, it's a 501c.
Correct. Yeah, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization that trains and donates service dogs to veterans and first responders.
So let's break that down. All right. So this was started at what year?
2016.
2016. So it was after 9/11.
Correct.
The best thing about 9/11 that happened, because I'm always looking for like the silver lining and the positive things, are our appreciation of veterans and first responders amplified, which was a good thing, right? So do you have people in your life who are in either one of those categories?
Oh, absolutely. My grandfather was actually a Marine, Vietnam era Marine. So I did see him suffer, unfortunately, through PTSD, night terrors, like that whole array of stereotypical Vietnam veteran ailments that they came home with, you know. Unfortunately, he passed away about 15, 16 years ago now. So he wasn't able to seek the benefit of this, but I was able to see, you know, in order for him to kind of function throughout the day, he would have to go through like a box of pills and just rely on medication. You know, unfortunately, that's not a way to live. So getting older, being able to figure out alternative ways around that, you know, we found dogs. You know, and with the VA there's a lot of new studies out there where dog therapy is very successful. You know, so that's something that we really wanted to focus on, was be able to provide these dogs to veterans and first responders, both who, you know, protect our communities and our country. You know, they don't get the appreciation or the recognition or the mental health services that they actually need. You know, so we wanted to be able to provide these dogs to them at no cost. You know, there still is a cost to it. You know, what we take on, so as a nonprofit. But it's about a $50,000 program that they receive at no cost.
That's a lot, and
Yeah.
and you can definitely use donations,
Yes.
which is one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on, because I am absolutely. Let's see, is that going to be better? There we go. It's called just in time adjusting.
Yeah.
How's that, Polly? Is that better? Yes. See, I read his mind. He didn't say anything, but I read his mind. We were like, hello. So people can find you at www.workingdogsforwarriors.org, or it is .com. Okay. So that money goes towards, where do you find your dogs? So first of all, that is an important thing, because unlike going and buying purebred, you're doing a double service. You're doing a double help.
Yep.
Right.
So we are considered a rescue. So we're able to pull dogs from several shelters in the area, or we work with shelters, work with rescues. You know, believe me, I get phone calls almost every day with different rescues trying to donate dogs to us. On the very rare occasion, we have purchased a few dogs from some breeders, but we have had a lot of breeders donate dogs to us over the last couple of years. So we haven't had to purchase a dog, I would say, in at least 3 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, but not every dog qualifies or can be trained.
Correct.
Right? Old dog, new tricks,
Yep.
and all of that. So what do you look for in a dog that makes them able to be working dogs for warriors, right?
Correct. So whenever we go out to view a dog, either in a shelter or rescue, we run like temperament tests on them. Just kind of put them through some tests to see where their abilities are. We'll put off some loud noises. We'll see if the dogs get scared or if they're interested, if they move towards the noise or the sound. We'll be there with them for a couple of hours, actually, at the shelters or rescues or wherever, evaluating these dogs to see if they are good candidates as a service dog. We want to make sure that they're loving, that they have a sound mind, that they're not too scared of noises, of sound, of lights, of just tactile surfaces. We'll try to put them through as much as we can in that short amount of time, really to make sure that these dogs will have the best chance of success throughout our program.
Age?
They have to be under 3 when they start our program. However, if I go out and pull a dog from a shelter, they typically are under 1.
Under 1, okay.
Correct, because unfortunately, like what we've noticed, the older they are in the shelter, they might have a lot of just
habits
that are harder to be able to undo, and then that becomes a more of a stressor for that veteran.
Right.
It's definitely something what we don't want to be like, okay, here's your dog that we know very little about, and now we're starting the training process, and then just things start coming out of them that are harder to really undo. Now that's adding another stressor to that veteran or first responder, something that they're already dealing with. We don't want to tack more on top of that.
Right. So when you grew up, did you have any idea that this is what you would be doing?
No, not at all. I always wanted to give back. I went to school for criminal justice. I always wanted to be on that path. But then I also grew up with dogs. I grew up with little dogs, little toy Malteses, so it's kind of a little different than what we have now. But I even then, I seen the benefit of having dogs. You get home from school as a kid, you go and play with your dogs. I always had those 2 little dogs plus a larger dog, like a lab mix or something my dad would pull out of the shelter, or find in the middle of the desert somewhere. But getting older, really seeing the benefit that these dogs provide to people, that's what made me want to get more into the training aspect of it, more into the cognitive abilities that these dogs have that no one really understands, oh yeah, what's the point of this dog being there? There's a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a lot more than just, oh, here's a dog, I want to pet it. That right there really helps break down those walls and start those conversations of mental health, mental health awareness.
Yeah, for sure. I call them #unconditional dogs because they are able to truly love unconditionally versus humans. We think we can love unconditionally, but the truth is, there's so many conditions, right? If you love me, you would, right? Those are all conditions. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering, first of all, where I am, I'm actually in studio out here in the IE, drove out at 5 a.m. this morning so that I could be here for this particular interview. And you're tuned in to take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA. AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, the station that leaves no listener behind. Thank you for making this the #1 8 a.m. talk show as you're coming in from work. And once you get there, if you go to my YouTube channel, Dr. Marissa Pay, P for positive, EI, then you will see us as well. And you can actually comment. Although maneuvering this on my phone is going to be fun. But if you do have any comments or questions for Mike here, who is the co-founder of Working Dogs for Warriors, and you're based out here in Fontana, which is like, I always, when I think about the IE, I'm going to the IE. I have no clue that it is as large as it is. And so my original intention was to come out and be in studio because my client is in Chino Hills, thinking that it's like, next door.
Right down the street.
Chino Hills is for another 45 minutes. So this has been a really fun experience learning about the IE. Yeah. But we're so glad that you are here with us this morning. If you do free subscribe at my YouTube channel, you get an alert every morning at 8 a.m. for interesting and balancing out the bad news with good news shows, because that's what I am all about. So now tell me, your wife is the co-founder of this. What part of her influence was you convincing her to do this, or her convincing you to do this, or how's that happen?
It was a little bit together. She was a 911 dispatcher with the city of Fontana for 10 years.
Okay.
You know, so she was a first responder. When she first got into it, you know, going through that training, going through all that, you know, they put the worst of the worst calls up with them. You know, that they're going through the training. You know, they have to just listen to
the worst
possible, you know, unimaginable calls. You know, just to prep them for what could come. You know, and you know, it was tough. You know, she would come home sometimes and just not really want to talk about how her day was. You know, just kind of give her time to settle in. You know, then we kind of wanted to look for some sort of outlet. You know, something what she can do that would benefit her. You know, just help her kind of just
get balanced.
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Get centered.
You know, so we looked into a dog. You know, we got our first dog. Her name was Gunny. If anybody knows it, the history of working dogs, it actually started out as an organization called My Gunny Bear Cares. So we named it after our first dog, Gunny.
Okay.
Well, that turned into everybody calling us
Gummy Bear.
Gummy Bear, exactly. So it drove me crazy. Anytime we'd go out to like the city events and gummy bears are here, I'm like, oh my god. so we quickly changed the name to Working Dogs for Warriors. However, the whole ideology stayed the same, you know, because with my wife being a first responder, we really wanted to focus on providing these dogs and this therapy to not only veterans but also first responders. You know, that's why we have that in our program. You know, so we got our first dog, Gunny, trained her up to be my wife's therapy dog, you know, and then we were like, hey, we kind of see the benefit in it, or we really seen the benefit in this. So we wanted to kind of allow more people to seek the benefit in it, you know. Like I mentioned, like my grandfather had severe PTSD, all of that stuff, you know, and just seeing the stories of how many 911 dispatchers get PTSD from their calls on a daily basis, how many police officers, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, you know, who have PTSD from their day jobs, you know, and it's a reoccurring
theme of
you know, it's like with veterans, you know, there's a lot of trauma in the beginning, you know, with their career. With veteran or with first responders, it's daily. You know, it's daily
firemen
trauma
go
for
out,
30
ambulance
years.
goes out. You do not see the best in people.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, so we created at that time My Gunny Bear Cares to really help give back. That turned into Working Dogs for Warriors, and then that turned into a care team program that we now run with few agencies in the areas. So what a care team is, so with our care team canine programs, we're actually able to trade and donate dogs to fire departments, police departments, strictly for their peer support programs. So these dogs are trained service dogs who actually go out and seek out and find somebody in crisis and provide them comfort. So whether it's a fellow firefighter, a fellow police officer in the station, or it's, you know, someone out in the community, or a debrief. Unfortunately, when the two officers were murdered in Riverside County, we got the phone calls for those to be able to provide our dogs as service.
When did that happen?
End of December and early in January. You know, it was like 2 weeks within that time period. Officer Caldera and I can't remember the other gentleman's last name, unfortunately. Isaiah is his first name. But so we got the phone calls for those, you know, to be able to bring these dogs out. And so we went to visit a few of their stations for debriefs, you know. And during those times, you know, having the dogs in there, it really helped open up that conversation of mental health, you know, because you have these officers, you know, they're expected to they're expected to perform at 100% of the time, you know, but unfortunately we know that can't happen. You know, you and I can't perform 100% of the time. You know, so now expecting these guys to go through that, you know, having these two officers murdered, really, and then their partners, okay, go back out on the streets, you know, being able to be there during their debriefings, you know, it was just very eye-opening, you know. So these dogs are there, being able to sit with these officers, it really brings down that wall. You would have SWAT guys come in, see a dog, and immediately drop to the floor, and oh my God, having the dog jump up on them, just releasing all those endorphins, lowering their stress levels. We've really seen a benefit in that.
Definitely. They've done a lot of medical studies actually on that as well. You want to check that, make sure they're not at the door.
Joe,
If they're at the door waiting to come in.
So with these care teams, we have 5 dogs with San Bernardino County Fire, 1 dog with Ontario Fire, we're working with a few different agencies in the area to really get them these dogs, because not only does it provide a nice outreach for the community and stuff, but more importantly, it provides that outreach for their own members. We've had with the first dog we had with San Bernardino County. This was about 2 years ago. The dog's name is Scout. The gentleman who has him is one of the firefighters in our program. His name is BJ. Within the first week of him getting Scout, he would get all those phone calls with, "Hey, what's up with this dog?" Well, that turned into an hour-long conversation of, he's also experiencing night terrors. He's also going through some tough stuff. What he doesn't want to talk about because he's expected to go and serve his community. Well, we've helped some of those individuals get into treatment centers. Get into, just be able to take the jacket off, and talk. Be able to sit down and just really find the comfort in that dog. But not only that, also move more into, okay, I need help for myself. Instead of internalizing everything, it's okay to talk about it. We have peer support programs that are run by 2 of our 1 veteran and a first responder in our program. Where it's a time for guys and gals just to kind of sit down and talk and get whatever off their chest. It's a safe space for people to come and know that they're not alone in their struggles. Everyone has. It's unfortunate, but a lot of people have gone through those same traumas, especially with the individuals we dealt with. But sometimes they might not know how to talk about it, or they feel like, why me type of thing, or, it's thinking that they're struggling alone or struggling in silence, So we set up these groups to be able to have these guys and gals come out and talk, come out and just really seek that. It's therapy in a sense, but it's not ran by therapists, it's ran by our dogs, so it's just a time for them to come out and talk.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering who's in my studio today and wondering which studio I'm in, this is Dr. Marissa. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here at KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, and streaming everywhere, including Facebook, LinkedIn, and iHeartRadio, and my YouTube channel, which is my central. This is show 961. I am going backwards. I accidentally said yesterday was 962. So we just flipped it. But I'm so glad that you're here. And I do love to spotlight nonprofits on a regular basis, because I believe that nonprofits are the solution to all that ails us on the planet. It's great to make money and it's great to be creative, but I think it's also super important to take things that are painful to you and create from them a light that shines on areas that can be a little shadowy. And I think certainly veterans coming back and not being allowed to heal or have the resources to become whole. First responders, as you were saying, are just the expectation is, you deal with it. You're a man. Let's put that moose on the table. I think our society has not done men well in that sense. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to feel. You're not supposed to. You just deal with it, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and continue on. And that attitude has led to that that mental health unawareness, or mental health, let's just squash it down. Absolutely. And pain, too bad. And no wonder we have such a high incidence of alcoholism and drug addiction, because those numb. those numb the feelings. And I'm so glad that you've found a way to help both veterans and dogs. And for that, I am going to give you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award for you, your wife, and all of your dog facilitators. Let's see. Polly's great. Normally I do this from my soundboard at home, but he got the applause.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Polly. And actually, we're going to take a quick break right now and go to commercial. We're going to play the Balanced Tai Chi Go one, which I think you can find, Polly, the one where I'm doing the moving meditation. And we'll come right back here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, NBC's News Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Go. My name is Dr. Marissa Pei. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes. Body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢.
Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on, I
will. On the bottom. Oh, it looks like we're over here. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere. And I am in studio, and we're just adjusting the mic now because in about 5 minutes, you're going to meet the rest of the gang for Working Dogs for Warriors. And I have the founder here. We're going to get the dogs in, and you're going to be able to see these very hardworking dogs that I got to meet on Earth Day out with IEUA. So, Mike, why don't you come on over here, and we're going to adjust this so we'll get ready for the dogs. And no, that's okay. We're back in, so let's do this. Have a seat here and let's adjust this. We're definitely playing it by ear today, which is good. We're flexible. Let's see if we can do this. And there you are. We want to make sure we get that logo in, and we'll bring it back when the dogs get here. But all right. So what we didn't do when I first come in, usually on this show, is I have breakfast with my guests.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, good, I'm hungry. Not that kind of breakfast. We're going to do what I call taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So we do 8 things that we're specifically grateful for at the top, which is the top of the bun. And then the bottom of the bun is things that we like about ourselves. And I was like springing this on my guests.
Yeah, really?
Because the reason why I do the bottom of the bun is, if you think about it, a lot of people are looking for approval, right? And mental health, I believe one of the foundations of mental health, since that is our topic today, is the ability to know how great you are. Not perfect, but 88% fabulous. That's how I say it. So we're mostly fabulous. What happens with a lot of us, we listen to criticism. Like if you get 99 compliments and one criticism, where does your mind go?
Exactly.
To the one criticism. So, I think one of the #unconditional dog, they love us exactly the way we are.
Yeah.
And if we can love ourselves exactly the way we are, then we have found a way to master our own mental health. And that lesson I continue to do over and over again for the last 11 years.
Wow.
But who's counting 581 consecutive weeks on the air? So that's why I want us to have breakfast together and do that. So let's start with, I am grateful that I have the ability to fly by the seat of my pants when it comes to this show. And you all know I've been doing this a long time and nothing is perfect, but I'm grateful that I can come out to the studios and bring people on and we can scramble and get things to work. So I'm grateful for that. What are you grateful for?
All the love and support we've got throughout our communities. We started as a organization that trained dogs in a park. Unfortunately had the lights turned off on us many times, the having to deal with the weather and the winds in Fontana, to growing to an organization where we have our own training facility, we have our own kennel facility, and just, it's been a roller coaster, but it's been an amazing experience. It's been an amazing opportunity and blessing that I've been given upon to be able to provide these dogs, to be able to have the support from our communities, the support from our elected officials, support from Congress, to be able to just see the need in our programs and be able to give back.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And I already gave him the Dr. Marissa Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award, as you are well deserving. I'm grateful that I have a great car that buzzes along. I get to drive from Long Beach to where are we? Riverside? No, Loma Linda.
Loma Linda.
Are we in Loma Linda? Okay. I don't know where I am
Redlands,
anymore.
Loma Linda.
Yes, out here. I love my car.
I will actually second that. We purchased a van for the organization a few years ago, and we have taken that thing everywhere. We've gone up to Sacramento a couple times. The last time, just a month ago, was for the police officers memorial, and we were able to have it wrapped. And that's, people see us and they wave. People see us and they honk, and but that van is a battle bus. That thing that's taking us everywhere. So it's a great opportunity to just show the organization off more.
Absolutely. I'm grateful that we live in California.
Absolutely.
Because it's doesn't have. I know we have earthquakes, but they don't happen very often. I do love, and I get to live on the ocean,
Yes.
so that's like a wonderful thing. What else are you grateful for?
Definitely grateful for this area. We're close to two large VAs. The Loma Linda VA and then the two in LA. But the community of support for our veterans and first responders in this area, I think God wanted us to plant our seeds here, and just showcase everything. Like we do an event every August. It's called the Sound Mind. We bring organizations together who are actually those boots on the ground organizations, and we have an overabundance of organizations that are willing to give the help to our veterans.
What date?
It's August 19th.
Yeah,
August
9 days
19th.
after
Yep.
my birthday.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, I'll put that on my calendar.
Perfect.
And come out and visit and maybe do a couple of interviews, which is how I met you.
Yep.
I didn't interview everybody at that Earth Day, but I fell in love with the with your staff, right?
Yep.
Your
Yeah,
dog
our
staff.
volunteers. Yeah. Yep.
No, they don't. They're not,
dogs.
but they work,
Oh, yeah.
right? Working dogs,
Yep.
right? Let's see. One more gratitude. I am grateful that the planets did not crash into each other last night, and we have another day to laugh and love and learn and grow and expand.
I am grateful for all of the veterans and first responders in our programs. The way I see it is they see ownership in our organization. You know, they really help take care of our dogs at the kennels. They help straighten up stuff at the building. You know, they're excited to be there. You know, so I'm just very grateful for each and every one of them to being able to want to give back to our organization, to help push it, help promote it, help grow it. Because honestly, like we can't help other veterans and first responders if it wasn't for our current group. You know, our current warriors, we call them. Oh, I hear Lexi.
You hear Lexi? All right, Lexi's on her way. I'm so excited. Let's see. We're gonna pull this back out.
Lexi.
Hi. Let me pull this out here so we can see you. Come on in. Hi. Come on in.
Hey, Lexi.
Come into camera.
What's up,
Hi. Hi. Hi.
So this is Lexi and Joe.
Hi, Lexi and Joe. Hi, sweetie. Oh, you're so pretty. You're so pretty. And this is a poodle.
She's a golden doodle.
She's a golden doodle. Oh, you're a galoodle. Well, thank you for coming in studio. I don't know if we can see. Come closer in here. Yeah, you adjust. Hi, sweetheart. Do you shake? Do they don't do like normal things,
They don't do
right?
They don't do tricks.
They don't do tricks, and it's a good thing. We don't want them doing tricks. Oh, I'm getting
But she can alert him when he needs it.
Okay. Well, please come in.
I prefer sitting like
you
this.
Okay.
That's
All right.
okay.
No, and so I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine.
Okay, that's
And
fine.
when you call me, it says, "Who are you and what do you want?" So who are you, Joe? And what do you want?
My name is Joe, and this is my dog Lexi, and we attend Working Dogs for Warriors. We are students at the school, and Lexi is a medical alert dog, so she alerts to my heart.
And what's with your heart?
My heart will start beating really, really fast. If it starts beating too fast, the blood doesn't circulate through the body, and that could be very detrimental to me. So during the day, it's important that she alerts me. At about 140 beats per minute, she alerts me. She starts nudging me. But my biggest concern is when I'm sleeping at night. I can have a heart incident and not wake up. And she wakes me up. So
That is so cool.
yeah, she's waking me up 4 times. And I had to be hospitalized those 4 times.
Wow.
So yeah, so she's my buddy. She's my best buddy.
She's your lifesaver, literally.
Absolutely.
Literally.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Lexi. How long have you had Lexi?
I've had her since she was actually born. My sister-in-law has the mom and the sister. She bred her dog. And when she bred her dog, I asked for one of the puppies.
Oh.
And she's been with me since.
Wow.
Since she was 8 weeks old.
Wow.
And then at 12 weeks, we started attending the school. Yep.
Wow. So that's one of the services that Working Dogs for Warriors provides is the training of service dogs to do what they, how long did it take to train?
She's still training.
She's still training.
If you
How
see
old
the
is she
service
now?
dog training package.
Oh, yeah, you're still
Our
training.
program's a little different than any others out there. We require 360 training hours for each dog, which could take anywhere from a year to 1.5 years to 2 years, just depending on the handler, honestly. But we have that curriculum because we've seen the instances where the other service dogs, you know, cause issues in the workplace or issues out in public. You know, we want to make sure that these dogs are going to perform for their handlers 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. How old is she now?
She's 18 months.
18 months. Oh, she's a baby. And she's already done her job 4 times.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Well,
when
that
I
was just waking him up at night 4 times. There's instances where she'll jump up on him to alert where he needs to look at his watch, you know, and to tell him that, hey, his heart rate's too high.
Wow. And then what do you do as soon as she does that?
Well, one of the side effects of her, when my heart starts to race, what comes along with that is anxiety. And that also increases your heart rate.
Right.
So when she starts alerting me that my heart rate starts going up, I can sit down, stay calm. And part of the training through the school is that they will lay on us, they will comfort us, and I've been hospitalized a lot less.
Wow.
Just because of that.
So
Yeah.
cool. Now, did you develop this as a kid?
No.
Condition?
I'm actually retired from Ontario Fire Department. And I believe it was my 5th year into retirement, I started developing heart issues.
Wow. Did they say, was it from years of suppressing some anxiety on the job? Maybe?
No, just the stress of the job.
The stress of the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I just heard that 85% of all visits to the doctor are, the diagnosis is stress.
Wow.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
85%. So we really don't know what's going on. Did you want to do something? Or oh no, you're cool. Can we adjust it just a little lower? Because Lexi's not. Oh, here we go. There we go. There. Perfect. She knew. You're so smart. One of the best things that I love about me, we didn't get to the appreciation slide about the breakfast, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. The top is gratitude, the bottom is appreciation, is one of the things that I love about myself. And this is important to do for mental health, is to be able to affirm yourself instead of looking for love in all the wrong places, or likes, literally, numbers of likes these days. And I love that I have been told, and I see that I gotta be a good person when dogs and babies who don't normally go to people come to me. Not saying that Lexi, not saying that Lexi, yes, it doesn't love other people, but I'm gonna say that this blonde here doesn't necessarily take place with everybody, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for indulging me on that BS belief system that I'm having in the moment. Well, well, first of all, thank you for your service.
Well,
and
thank
I
you.
mean that.
Well, thank you.
And I love the awareness that has come through something horrific like 9/11 to acknowledge the importance of our first responders and how they do on a occurrence by occurrence basis put their life on the line, not knowing what's going to happen. And veterans do that as well. And I don't think we really appreciate the stress that comes from that. We kind of take it for granted and, well, you signed up for the job. That's bullshit-talky to be very cognizant of how stressful that is. And I do, I don't know if you know, my moniker is Asian Oprah, because I was introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I love the honor with that, because I attribute Oprah with bringing media into a full person awareness. So we went from Jerry Springer, the worst in people, and the drama, I am drama, therefore I am, to understanding what makes us happy, what makes us unhappy, with the importance of, you spoke about God, about that energy outside of ourselves, the importance of connecting with each other, not in isolation, not suffering in silence, but reaching out and saying, I need help from Lexi. I need help from an organization called Working Dogs for Warriors. And I'm just so delighted that today we got a chance and it worked out.
Yep.
Yes, I know that we got Lexi in studio, and even better, we got Joe too, to just demonstrate to you the working dogs' value in what they do. So if you are a person who is worried right now about the future, worried about the jobs, worried about our whatever government or whatever you want to call it, all of that, I want you to shift the most powerful tool you have, which is focus. And focus and choose to look at this organization. I'm sure, $20 would help.
Absolutely.
$50 would help. Whatever it is, this is a group, and this is why I do this, is we can sit here and shake our heads and say, oh, it's horrible what's happening to veterans. Oh, it's horrible what's happening to the police that are being killed in Riverside. And we could just shake our heads. But most important, we can actually use money energy to help organizations like this. And you can say, I have part ownership in this endeavor to help veterans, to help first responders, to help people who have retired and have medical opportunities for improvement, and certainly the love and unconditional love from our furry friends who I think this is one of the blessings in life, is to have things like cats. I don't know. I don't think you can train the cat.
No.
Have you ever trained a cat? Yeah.
No.
So sorry, I'm highly allergic to cats. So I think that was done on purpose. But dogs, I'm in love with unconditional dogs. So I'm Dr. Marissa. You've been tuned in to Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. I know if you're driving into work right now, you are on AM 1050 or FM 106.5. But I know that if you're just tuning in now and you're like, oh man, I missed the show, don't worry. We are here on my YouTube channel, Dr. Marissa Pay. You can go to Doc Balance on Instagram. You'll see the initial video that I got and the little interview that I had at IEAU's Earth Day. And again, how can people support you? Where do they go?
WorkingDogsForWarriors.com. They can donate on our website. We do have a fundraiser going on for our 9/11 Memorial Bike Ride. That'll take place on September 10th. It's a 70-mile bike ride from Bolsa Chica up to Yorba Regional and back down. We have a couple different classifications for that.
Do you have ones that go in cars? The bike goes in cars? I'll be doing that one.
Joe rides a motorcycle. He asked me the same thing.
Great. And then August 19th.
Yep, A Sound Mind, August 19th, a mental health resource fair in Fontana.
That's beautiful. I'm going to be there. I'm going to commit to that
Awesome.
right now.
Awesome.
So we'll be driving back out here. Thank you so much for bringing Lexi.
You're welcome.
Very, very valuable. Are you guys on social at all? Well, Working Dogs.
Working Dogs for Warriors on Instagram and
Find that.
Facebook.
If you have any questions or comments, thank you so much for tuning in. Am I getting usually Polly texts me at this point and says how much time.
7 minutes.
Oh, we have 7 minutes. I thought we had to finish by 5 too. So we have 7 minutes.
Can I add something?
Please.
Okay, I would like to add something. As a firefighter, I worked 30 years responding on a lot of people, and we did the best we could. And then my turn came, where I said I started having heart issues. You find yourself very, very, very alone. And she changed my life, but it could never have happened without Working Dog for Warriors. In that school, I see the other students who are tremendously great people who were totally lost. And without Mike and his wife, we would still be there. And we have great doctors and everything, but this side of it is something that we cannot exist without. So I always tell my thank you. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. And we did not put you up to that.
No, not at all.
We had the extra time to do that we
you,
didn't think that we were going to. The other programs that you have, we have time to actually go through them. So tell me what else is going
So
on.
we also offer public dog training, public boarding training. That all goes right back into the organization to help fund these dogs. We do doggy daycare in Fontana. We have a facility, a kennel facility. We do doggy daycare, overnight stuff. Like if you're going on vacation, need someone to watch your dogs, we'll be happy to watch them. And then we have events throughout the year. We typically do like a mental health resource fair. That's the A Sound Mind. We partner with Frontside Military Outreach and the City of Fontana to put that on. And like I mentioned, we bring the organizations who actually have the boots on the ground, who are doing the good work in our communities. So we really want to make sure we're focusing on not just the organizations that are handing out a piece of paper and here's your resource, but the organizations that are actually making a difference to our communities. And then a 9/11 Memorial Bike Ride, we do that every year. Like I mentioned, the large portion is a 70-mile bicycle ride. Yeah. But then we also have a beach ride that's only 18 miles. That's along Huntington Beach. And then we do a family walk or run that's from Bolsa Chica down to the Lifeguard Tower and back. So that one's only like, I think 2-3 miles. So that one's doable for me.
Yeah, for me. For me too.
You know, but it's the same thing. You know, like everything we do, we want to make sure that it's comfortable for our veterans and first responders to want to come out to. You know, so for the last couple of them, it was only our guys and gals, and then we had the blessing of the end of watch cycling team to come out, and they brought a big crowd. We've made some great friends from those organizations, you know, but they all have the same mission, you know, the mission of wanting to give back and bring awareness to veteran and first responder mental health. You know, so if you guys want to come out and support, you're more than welcome to. We usually have a couple vendors set up along right at the beginning of Bolsa Chica. But it's just a great time for everybody to come out with their dogs and hang out at the beach.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's down in my neck of the woods, actually in Huntington. And I just want to give a shout out to 3 of the city Huntington Beach council members who just put out a resolution to stop the hate that is in Huntington Beach. Unfortunately, Huntington Beach has been synonymous with hate crimes and people actually flying Confederate flags out there. So I just want to commend that the 3, I don't have their names in front of me, but you can just Google and find out and just support them because, you know, life is way too short to have hate.
Absolutely.
Yes. This is Dr. Marissa. We have to say goodbye finally, but I'm so grateful to both Joe and Mike for coming out. Working Dogs for America. That would be like, that's our expansion,
That's our
right?
next one,
Right?
yeah.
WorkingDogsForWarriors.com. Please go support them. This is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, reporting live here in studio in Loma Linda at KCAA. AM 1050, FM 106.5. If you would do this with me, this is how I end every show. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa. I did play this Saturday, come down to the beach in Long Beach. I'm teaching my once a month, last Saturday of the month, moving meditation called Balanced Tai Chi Gong. It's Tai Chi, Qi Gong. Maybe you can make it down to the beach. It promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. We'll see you there on Saturday. Now remember, go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.